Hello everybody and welcome to another Ogrecast. I'm Ogre and I'll be your host for this game of Starcraft 2 between Caesar, which is my account name, and VeniVediVpwn, which is a very, it's a good name for an enemy of mine, as Caesar is famous for VeniVediVici, as I'm sure all of you know. So, should be a good match. Now, VeniVediVpwn has apparently kept losing to shit this day, and I give him my condolences. I myself had been on a bit of a winning streak that day, so I was feeling not too bad, but now I haven't really cast any games where I lose yet, and that's just kind of because I haven't really lost any of those epic, kind of interesting games. So, like, the games that I've lost recently have just seemed to be kind of all-in cheese type games and really frustrating and not good to cast. So, I do lose games, and I completely acknowledge that. So don't think it's just because I want to look good that I only cast the games where I win. But honestly, the only interesting ones. Pretty late getting my probes onto gas here, and actually my build order was completely messed up. Now, I had been playing a couple of Zergs who rushed recently, and I was trying to just wall off with sentries and build around the Nexus, but you know, I'm doing the classic wall off here this time because it wasn't really working out. Like, I hate having to kind of run around my base and things like that and chase down Zerglings, and sometimes the timing is a bit off. So this time I just do the classic wall off and have no problem keeping Zerglings out of my base right here. Taking a look at the income tab, looks like the harvesters are about even, so he's got a little bit better. I did scout that he was expanding. No, actually, apparently I didn't, but I had a feeling he was expanding, so anyway, I got so 3 zealots here just to protect the wall off. I got my sentry out. Don't think any Zerglings are going to be getting through there. Finally got my Robo Bay coming up, and my harvester count is doing okay. I'm up to 24. What was that sound? I thought I saw or heard some Nidus Worm or something like that, but did not remember any Nidus Worm play in this game, so obviously I was mistaken. Must have just been Overlords popping out or something like that. So here we have some Zerglings and Banelings, and I've been seeing a lot of this at the start of my games against Zerg. So that's kind of why I wanted to show this one. I wanted to show just how ineffectual it can be as long as you have a sentry there to block off those banelings and a couple things to shoot them down. If you can focus down the banelings, that's you know, a little bit of gas and things like that that's just wasted for nothing. And when you've got the sentries to make the banelings kind of useless, it also serves to make the entire baneling nest pretty much useless unless you know, he really wants to incorporate banelings into his main army composition later on, and not just use it for a bust at the start. But yeah, like I just think that had I left this, my normal build is to kind of get a square of buildings around here and block off. But I'm just thinking it was a heck of a good idea to do that wall off this time, because look how easy it was to keep the banelings and Zerglings out of my base. So now I think it's a good time to get an expansion going. He seems to be staying in his base here. I've got my observer out there, so I can tell when he's going to move out. The observer is extremely important, and you know, this overseer is also extremely important. He sees that I've got my chrono boost on the robotics bay, so he is going to know, thanks to his overseer, that I'm going Colossi. Now I gotta clear this overseer out. I don't really like him just hanging around my base. I hear that there's a Zergling attacking my probe here, so I move all my guys back and just I'm gonna warp in some stalkers right there to take care of this little guy. Any second now. Okay, well, it might take a little longer than that. Oh, there they go. There come the stalkers just to finish this guy off, and they will join my main army down here. Now, I have not moved my probes down to the expansion quite yet, so the income tab is looking pretty good for VeniVedi, and however, the army tab is definitely in my favor. He has not really gotten an army up and running yet. So he's at 35 drones to my 33 probes, which is, it's, you know, good to see that it's pretty even. Look, 34 and 34 now, so like exactly even in the probe to drone production. So he has no problem in the area of economics right now. He's got 5 corruptors up just to take down my my colossi. So you can just see the effect that the scouting has. Like, he saw what I was going. He didn't even have to see a Colossus actually pop out. Like, and now he's moving out with his army. Now I know I have Colossi. I'm expecting lots of Zerglings from him. I've seen his army, Zerglings and Banelings, so I got my 2 Colossi out here. I feel like I'm going to be okay. 5 Stalkers. I'm warping in more Zealots to deal with the Zerglings. And now I feel like it's time to move out. I got a pretty good ball here. I don't need to let him get any further ahead. Like, oh, and here we go. Now I get the advantage of the high ground. These Hydras, it really took them a while to get into position and start shooting. I'm gonna focus down. These Corruptors with my Stalkers and easily take out the rest of that army with my Zealots there. Plenty of units left over to clean up these Corruptors, and he has 850 army, 400 gas as well in his army left. I have a significant advantage, and it would really benefit me to push out right here, and so I do. Taking a look at the income tab, I have actually caught up and surpassed him in income. My harvester count is about the same, but he must have a couple drones sitting around or something like that. Now, yeah, so I push in. Fortunately, all these Banelings are just morphing in, so I get a whole bunch of free kills, and you know, Zealots can really take the hits from Banelings. If you only hit one Zealot at a time, I mean, Banelings are great units against light armored units. However, they also explode, so once they do their damage, they are completely gone. Whereas you have these nice, robust units such as Colossi and Stalkers and things like that. There's no limit to the amount of damage they can do. So that is the negative of the Banelings. Now I walled off these Hydras so they can't come out. I'm gonna pull my Stalkers back a little bit and just let my Colossus destroy those Hydras. You can burn them up so fast. And I've got reinforcements coming in, another Colossus. I got my Stalkers there, really cleaning up on this expansion. It's not going to last too long there. And he just leaves the game at that point. I don't even know if I was macroing an army at that. So, you know, it wasn't even my best game. I could have done so many things better. But it just kind of, it was something that I'd seen a lot of, is the early Baneling-Zergling combo, trying to bust down, you know, into the front of the Protoss base. And so, just having, I just wanted to show having that sentry there. I only had one sentry, and as soon as I saw the Banelings, I got another one, and then, you know, with 2 sentries, you can just basically make those Banelings a wasted investment. So, that's it for this game. Thanks for listening.